Hello, our most developed student. My name is Confident and welcome to our 24-minute lesson. This is the ultimate guide in maths, science, career guidance, as well as a sneak peek in my personal experiences. This is a channel that is designed with you in mind. Let us dive into today's lesson. Now let's look at question 2. Says fully factorize the following expression. So we are given this 2.1 fully. See, when they say fully, so you've got this one, which is what? It's 6b squared minus 27b minus 15. It's 3 marks. So if you have to fully factorize this, and in here I think the first thing you have to recognize was that there is a common denominator between 6, 27 and 15, and that is 3. So you take out 3 first, and what is common? 3 into 6 is 2b squared. 3 into 27 is minus 9b. 3 into 15 is minus 5. See, that was the first thing equal to, and then 3. Then from here I usually say you can use the product sum method. Product, what does it mean? Product means times. It says multiply these two, the first and the last, multiply them. What do you get when you multiply them? So that's the product. So it will be 2 times negative 5 is equal to negative 10b squared. And then the sum is this number in the center. This is the sum. What is that number? The sum is equal to negative 9b. And then factors. It says what are the factors of the product? Factors of the product. Factors of 10. It's 1 times 10. 2 times 10. These are 2 times 5. These are two numbers. When you multiply, you get 10. 2 times 5. There is no other numbers, two numbers that you multiply to get 10. From these, then you ask yourself, which of these two will I add the sum to get a what? To get a negative 9. So you put a plus here, you put a plus here. So 1 plus 10 is equal to 11. So you play around the calculator. 2 plus 5 cannot give me a 9. So this will never give me a 9, even if I'm trying to add. But I can play around this one. If I say 1 plus negative 10, what do I get? It's negative 9. So that is what I'm looking for. So which means my factors are 1 and negative 9. Look at this. If I multiply 1 times negative 9, I get minus 9. If I say, sorry, it's not 1 and 9, it's 1 and 10. 1 and negative 10. So if I say 1 times negative 10, what do I get? I get a product of what? Of minus 10. If I say 1 plus negative 10, I get what? Negative 9. So now you just put a b there. You put a b, I put a b, and I put a b. So when I write this, it will be bracket 2b squared. So now I use these factors, plus 1b minus 10b minus 5, and then do that, which is equal to 3. Then what is common in the first two? It's b, and then bracket b into 2b squared, it's 2b. b into b is plus 1. Are you seeing that? And then close the bracket. Then take out negative 5 here. Negative 5 and negative 10 is 2b. Negative 5 and negative 5 is plus 1. See that? Then equal to 3. And then I have got in the bracket. Look at the two brackets. It's 2b plus 1. And then outside the bracket I've got that, which is b minus 5. Guys, I do in my textbook, Mathematics N2 for the underdogs, I show you this so easily and clearly. So you need to get hold of the book, the textbook, or you can watch my previous videos where I'm factorizing. I usually make this much slower and simpler. So that is that though, in terms of these 3 marks. Alright. The next one, so this was just 3 marks. The next one, 2.1.2, you have to factorize 1 minus 16 if I can write it down here. Okay, let me clear that. It's what? 1 minus 16x to the power of 20. Let's do that. 1 minus 16x to the power of 20. This was also 3 marks, much simpler, but you need to be very sensitive here because you can actually get things wrong. So what you need to do is like this. You see, with 1 you're not having a problem, but the one that can give you a problem is the 16. Remember, 16 in terms of 2 is same as 2 to the exponent is 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8, 8 times 2, it's 2 to the exponent 4. So it's 1 minus 2 to the exponent 4, x to the exponent 20. It's better to start with 2. But now, since 1, you have got 4 and 20, it's up to you. You can choose the smallest power to make it power 4. If you want, you can make it power 20. It doesn't matter, because 1 will always be 1. So you do that just to match. When you have done that, this minus means a difference of 2 squares. Always know that. They'll always give you this in minus. So you have got 1 minus. So what you do is you divide this by 2, this by 2. 4 divided by 2. So you have got 2 to the power of 2. And then x to the power 10, 20 divided by 2 is 10. So if you've got 1 minus, the other one will be 1 plus 2 to the power of 2 x to the power of 10. I think that's the first one. You continue the same thing. Forget about the plus because it's already done, but the minus continues to say, since I have a power of 2 as the big one, also maintain a power of 2 there because we're dividing by 2. So you continue here to say, okay, I'm still dividing by 2. I divide by 2. I divide by 2. And then when you do that, you open 2 brackets for this minus. Then there is the original one. So what we have, 2 divided by 2 is 1 minus 2 to the power 1 x to the power 5. And then 1 plus 2 to the power 1 x to the power 5. And then you've got the last one, 1 plus 2 squared x 10. This was the one that we left with the plus. Then that's the end. You simplify this. 1 minus 2x to the power 5, and then 1 plus 2x to the power 5, and then 1 plus 2 squared is 4x to the power of 10. Just need to be sensitive here. Again, check my previous videos, and the textbook that I have covers that. Next one, 2.1.3, you need to what? Factorize this. They said factorize. It says factorize here 5x, and then it's minus 3a squared minus 5a plus 3ax. We needed to factorize that. It's also what? It's also 3 marks. Guys, it's factorization. The skill of factorization is very important. Actually, you discover that the whole of question 2 is just on factorization. Look at this. Now, there is nothing common in these 2, because here is by grouping. It's usually like you take the first 2 and you take the last 2, but there is nothing common. They did it intentionally so, meaning they are forcing you to regroup this. So we can regroup it. It's better to regroup it in terms of the unknowns. For example, take that x and take that x. Are you with me? So you saw that you regroup it and say, this sign means regroup. It's 5x plus 3ax. This can be regrouped. I think that. And then minus 3a squared minus 5a. Apologies guys for the background noise. That was in the background is my inverter. So just purchased one so that I can be able to bring these videos in during load shedding, because usually it disrupts. You find that in the midst of load shedding, when it cuts and I'm in recording this, unfortunately that video has to be wasted because of the amount of power that it needs whenever you're recording. But sorry about that. So you'll feel some sense of quietness now. It is because of the inverter that was running in the background. Now, when you've done this, look at this. It was, I regrouped, you see, 5x plus 3x minus 3a squared minus 5a. Now what I do is look at what is common now in the first two and the last two. X is common, you see that? So I can take x outside. X divided, it's like I'm dividing here. 5 will remain, see that? So here I'll have 5 plus, again it's like I'm cancelling there. 3a will remain, so it's 5 plus 3a. And then sometimes it's always good, take out a plus. What is common? A squared and a. Take out a, so a will cancel that. You've got minus 3a, see that? It's minus 3a, minus 3a. Again, that a will cancel to get what? Minus 5. So in a way, you are having your answer like the brackets. It's almost there, but the problem is 5a plus 3a minus 3a plus 5a. So take out a negative in the second one. Take out a negative. You'll see what will happen. Is x 5 plus 3a. So when I say take out a negative, so you have got plus a becomes minus a. Bracket minus 3a become positive 3a. Minus 5 become positive 5. That's how you take out a negative. Why? Because when it goes back, it will become negative and it will become negative. Are you seeing that? So equal to, and then you've got, now look at it. It's 3a plus 5. 5 plus 3a is the same thing. So you've got x 5 plus 3a minus a, you can write it 5 plus 3a. Are you seeing that? So that is that. So the brackets are now the same. So you write equal to, usually it's better to start with a letter 3a plus 5, and then outside the bracket is what I'm having, x minus a. Then that becomes the answer. If you multiply this back, you can actually test your answer by multiplying this back, so that you can say this times this, this times this, this times this, and this times this. It must take you back to the original answer. The question that we started with. So basically, this is how you could have grouped it. But someone can say, was there any other grouping? Yes, I think you could have grouped it also differently. So let me take this like here. Let's say you wanted to group it in this instance. Let's say what did I use? I grouped it with the first and the last. What if I wanted to group it like this one and this one, like this, so that I have got 5x minus 5a minus 3a squared plus 3ax. Let's say I wanted to group it like this. Now here 5 was common in the first two, so I take out 5. I have got x minus a, all right, plus in the second one 3 was common as well as a was common, so it's plus 3a. 3 cancels, a cancels, you've got negative a. See, there's a negative there. Negative a plus 3a will cancel to remain with x. Again, remember that thing, take out a negative so that this matches. You've got 5 x minus a, and then positive becomes minus 3a, then negative a becomes a, positive x becomes minus x. Okay, I don't think I was supposed to take out a negative actually. On this one, there is no reason for the negative here, because already look, I'm the one who's confusing here. It's x minus a plus 3a, start with x, so it's x minus a. It's already done, it's matching. So you've got x minus a, and then you've got 5 plus 3a. I think that then it's the same thing. Look at the answer here, x minus a, 5 plus 3a, 3a plus 5. Guys, it's the same thing. So that was that. 369 based on factorization. Question 5 again, this was a factorization question. If you knew how to use factorization here, that is another 3 marks, which is 12. All this is based on what? On factorization. Look at this question again. Question 2.2. It says given this and this and this, these are these, Determine the lowest common multiple. I liked this question because, I mean, the way they did it though, it's sometimes they usually force you to factorize, but this one they factorize for you. So it's a plus 2, a plus 1, a plus 1, a minus 7, a plus 1, a plus 1. Now here equal to a plus 1 squared. That's where they were tricking you there, because it appears twice. So if they say LCM, with LCM, we can just write the answer straight away. I don't know why they made it 4 marks. Look at it. You have got a plus 2, and then you've got a plus 1. You write each and every item that is there, but of course that is not repeating. I've got a plus 1, I've already done it, so I take it out. A minus 7. See, this is LCM. Alright, and then after a minus 7, a plus 1, I've done it, but look, there is a plus 1 squared, so I take the one with the highest power, which is squared. So forget about this one, take that one. You always look for the one with the highest power. That is the answer they wanted there. So I'm just going to erase to make sure that I didn't lose out anything. So look at it. You take a plus 2, you take a plus 1 squared, you take a minus 7. Now when they say highest common factor, you come back to this. In the highest common factor, you look at the factor, at the one that is repeating in all the three. So a plus 2, no, it's not in the other two. A plus 1, I see it there, I see it there, I see it there. And a minus 7, no. But now you take the smallest power. Don't take the squared version, take the smaller power. So it's that HCF is equal to a plus 1. This becomes the answer, guys. It was a given 5 marks based on factorization from the previous part. Alright, and then to wrap it up, it is also out of 21, hey, but to wrap it up is this one. Simplify the following expressions. 3 marks. I don't know why they always make the plus 3 marks, but I feel like some of these plus or minus, they are more demanding than the division and multiplication. Anyway, let's do this one. It says 6 over a plus 3 plus a minus 2 over 6 minus a squared. So there we go. So what do we do here? Just before we finish this one, this is the question here. I just want to say something to you guys. You know, these videos are available to most of you guys. They come in, I load these videos, and you are able to watch these videos from the YouTube channel, the 24-minute lesson. But I will encourage you to become a Prime member. Why? Because first of all, I make these videos available to Prime members. So if you're not a Prime member, you'll get them a bit later. But if you're a Prime member, you'll benefit from the full version of this video. So in a short space, I will be posting them in the Prime members. Whenever you click on it, you will see me posting it. Everyone can see me posting it, but when you try to watch it, it will say unavailable for anyone but for Prime members. It's simple to join. I think you contribute under 70 or 80 rand per month just to sponsor the channel, just to bring us, to help us move this channel further, you know, to bring these videos more and more to you. It helps us. And also, guys, as I always say, please don't forget to subscribe. But this is the thing, you will see that these videos, I'm going to be breaking them into 24 minutes. So if you see me cutting it, I will say to be continued. Watch the next video. What I'm trying to say is I'm limiting some of you sitting for hours trying to do the whole paper in one sitting. This is not practical. Trust me, it is not going to be beneficial for you. Why? Because your mind will get exhausted and tired, and you don't understand anything after 30 minutes. Your mind will already be exhausted. But if you give yourself short breaks, you are able to watch for the 24 minutes, do something totally different, come back again, and then you'll get yourself rejuvenated again to take the next 24 minutes. That's why it's called the 24-minute lesson. Alright, that was just a side one, but let's go on here. What was the tricky part? The tricky part was here. That was the tricky part. And in what sense was the tricky part? You see, they made it like this. Usually it's supposed to start with a squared. So now you were forced to factorize this guy. But you see, these things are related. Always link it to the other one. Always. So look what they wanted you to do. Equal to 6 over, they are predictable. The examiners are always predictable. And then they wanted you to do this, say plus a minus 2 over, they wanted you to take out a negative first. So that what you have is minus 6. But let me write it the way. So this negative now becomes a squared, you see the right way? And then negative a is plus a, positive 6 is minus 6. They wanted it to be like this. Are you with me? But this negative affects that negative, so that you have got 6 over a plus 3, then is minus a minus 2 over a squared plus a minus 6. That's all they wanted to do you. To say from positive, are you able to link this there? Then from there, which is 6 over a plus 3, it's up to you now to do factorization on the other one. When you do factorization, if you know the product and sum method, you'll see that this one becomes a plus 3 and this one becomes a minus 2. You need to know how to factorize. As I said, check out my textbook, Mathematics N2 for the Underdogs. It will help you factorize such. Then look, a plus 3 is already in here. So you've got a plus 3 and I've got a minus 2. Then a plus is this into that. You see a minus 2 is remaining. So I've got 6 multiplying a minus 2. And then minus, this will cancel that to remain with a minus 2. You see that? So minus bracket a minus 2. I say, to me, this looks more work heavy than the normal division, because it's got lots of working involved, but they make it always simpler. Quick, lower marks than the division and multiplication. From here, what do you do? It's up to you. We can open that, so it will be 6a minus 12. Now the negative also affects that, and negative affects that, is minus a plus 2 over a plus 3 and a minus 2. And then from here equal to, and then 6 minus a, so this is 6a minus a minus 12 plus a over a plus 3 and what? And a minus 2. I think this to wrap this up, which is equal to 6 minus a is 5a minus here is plus 2 minus 12 plus 2 is negative 10 over a plus 3 and what? And a minus 2. Seeing that equal to, now it might look like it's done, but be careful. 5 and 10, you see there's always a lot to go about with this. 5 and 10 is 5 is common, and then it's a 5 into 10 is minus 2 over a plus 3 and what? And a minus 2. You see what I'm saying? Then it continues then to finalize to say what is a minus 2? A minus 2, which is 5 over a plus 3. You see, it kind of a very tricky thing. Sometimes you might not get your full marks after going all the working here, all this working here, only to land yourself with what? With 3 marks, because this is actually 3 marks. You see that? But now it's very important. I always say to students, you need to test. It's very important to test this. So what you do, you can choose any value of x to say, for example, let x here be equal to, choose funny numbers like 7. Then you see what it gives you. The answer that you get, you do the same thing on the final answer. When the answers are matching, then it means that you are right. So let's x7. So here you've got 6 over 7 plus 3, and then plus, and then also you have got a minus 2, which is 7 minus 2 over 6 minus 7 minus 7 squared. What do we get? We are getting 1 over 2. That was the this side. I'm getting 1 over 2. Let's come here and say x is 7. If x is 7, this is same as equal to 5 over 7 plus 3, which is equal to 5 over 10, which is equal to 1 over 2. See that I'm maintaining that 1 over 2. It means my simplification of this is correct. Alright. So this was the first one. Now look at this one. Let me work it on the other side. If I'm given this one, which is a squared and then minus 4a plus 4 over a squared minus 1, this is divided by a squared minus 2a over a squared minus a. So I'm given this, and then let me work on it from this side. So this is what I'm given, and then I want to simplify this. Again, this is more of factorization, guys. I was factorizing all the way. I think almost 21 marks is just heavily on factorization. So it's very important for you to master this. So how do you factorize the top? If we are doing the product sum properly, you will get here a minus 2 and a minus 2. That is this top part when you factorize it over. In here is a difference of 2 squares. There is a squared here. You open also 2 brackets, which is a minus 1, a plus 1. So it's divided by, see, a squared minus 2a, a is common, which is a minus 2 all over a squared minus a, which is a bracket a minus 1. If I can just check if this was copied properly. A squared minus that, yes. So this is what you're having, and you need to convert now the division sign to multiplication. See, when you're doing multiplication, this goes to the top and this goes to the bottom. So we have got a minus 2. You cannot cancel at this stage. A minus 2, you can only cancel when it's a times. A minus 1, a plus 1, and then times, as I say. You see the times now. Times what? And then it's a minus 1 over a and a minus 2. See this? That is when now you can cancel this thing. So equal to here. Then a minus 1 can take out a minus 1. The a can go with the a. A minus 2 can take out a minus 2. So what am I remaining with? Which is equal to a minus 2 over a plus 1. This becomes then the final answer. But again, as I encourage you, test, choose any value of a. I can maintain to say let my a be equal to 7 in here. A is equal to 7. Now get the final answer and go and plug it into the into your final answer. Again, see if ever you're going to get similar answers. Okay, so let's do that. In the first one, it's 7 squared minus 4, 7. That is 4 times 7. It's minus. I don't know why I say times. It's minus. 7 squared minus 4a, which is 7 plus 4, all over 7 squared minus 1, and then says what? Divided by, again, 7 squared minus 2 into 7. I'm substituting, as you can see, which is 7 squared. You can put brackets for 7 squared minus 7. What answer it gives me? 5 over 8 here. So let me 5 over 8, remember, keep that answer. I do the same here, and then it's 5 over 8, so it's 7 minus 2 over 7 plus 1. What am I getting? 5 over 8. When you maintain such answers, it means you are correct. That's the good, or the motivator here. All right, so guys, that was question number what? 2. Now, as I say, this video will be broken into small parts. So if you find yourself doing whether the third part, the fourth part, and you didn't watch get the other parts, always either go ahead or go before this one to always get a full understanding, because I'm working this from question 1. So now we are going on to look at question number 3, and question number 3 is out of 26 marks. Now look at question number 3. When I did a review of this was one of the most challenging questions in this section. If ever the examiners were tightening the screws, this is where they made it a bit tough for the students. They made it not easy for you to actually get a distinction in a way, because they tightened here. But if you were careful here also with your algebra, you're going to be able to solve this. Now let's go through this section carefully. So say solve for x and y in the following equations algebraically. Again, not difficult though this one. 3y plus 6 is equal to 6x. We call that equation 1. And then x is equal to 2y minus 2. We call this equation 2. The good part about equation 2, look at this. If I can already say here equation 2 into equation 1, look what is going to happen. 3y plus 6 is equal to, see, 6. Now I want you to pay attention now. Where there is x, see, x is equal to that. That's what I'm going to put there. So I put a bracket, I substitute there. So you say 2y minus 2, see? So x is gone already. That's what you're supposed to do. So 3y plus 6 is equal to, open that bracket, 6 times that and 6 times that. 6 times 2, it's 12y. 6 times 2 is negative 12. Then it's up to you how you want to work this out. I always prefer to avoid a negative on y. So, but let's have a y on the left hand side. It doesn't matter. Take y, it's positive, it will become negative. It's 3y minus 12y. Still gonna be the same. Is equal to negative 12. 6, when it jumps positive, becomes negative 6. 3 minus 12 is negative 9. Y is equal to minus 12 minus 6 is negative 18. Rely on the calculator, please. Use the calculator. Now, what is it that I don't want? I don't want negative 9. So since I'm multiplying, I divide by that. That's where I get my y. But on the left, I also do the same thing on the right. Negative 9 into 18 is 2. So I get y is equal to 2 there. But now I come back to equation 2. That's my x. Remember, what is my x? My x is equal to 2y minus 2. But I know that my y is equal to 2. So x is equal to 2. Where there is y, now I put 2 minus 2. So x, not y. X is equal to 4 minus 2, which is 2. So the question was find x and y. So x is equal to 2, y is equal to 2. Guess what? You need to test this. So use a calculator. You test the left hand side, you test the right hand side. See if it's balancing. So the first one, 3 bracket 2 plus 6. Remember, y is 2. What is it? 12. And then on the right hand side also, 6 times 2 is 12, or 6 bracket 2. So 12 is equal to 12. That's the first one. On the second one, x is 2. The other one is 2y minus 2, which is 2 bracket 2 minus 2. I'm supposed to remove that. 2 bracket 2 minus 2 is equal to 2. So it balances on that. Alright, so that was that. Let us move on to 3.2, which says here the diameter of a wheel is 80 millimeters and the wheel rotates at 0.25 rotation per minute. Calculate the following. That is where things started getting a little bit trickier. 3.2, and 3.2.1 the angular velocity of the wheel. Now you need to understand here to say what do they mean when they say the angular velocity. Go to the formulas. It relies heavily on formulas, but you need to be very sensitive now when you're in this section. Look at the angular velocity. I think that it is. You need to be sensitive. Angular velocity is W is 2 pi n. Now circumferential velocity is V is pi dn, where n is the rotational frequency, which is rotations per second, which is or revolutions per second actually. Rotational frequency, revolutions per second. So now don't forget angular velocity is 2 pi n. That's what you're going to use here. If we take this to say angular velocity, which is that is equal to 2 pi n. But now we know to say the diameter of wheel is 80 millimeters and the wheel rotates at what? 0.5 r per minute. So 0.25. So we're saying here n is equal to 0.25 r per minute. So what you need to do is to change this. That's why they say per seconds. If you look at the formulas, it says it's revolutions per second. So you convert this to say n is equal to 0.25 revolutions over 60 seconds, because they say per minute. I think that. So n is equal to, you take a calculator to find out what is this 0.25 over 60 over 60. What does it give you? It gives you actually I don't want it in that form. It's 1 over 240. I can leave it like that. It's much better. It's 1 over 240 rotations per second. You can write it with 0.00 something, is still fine. But now from here I'm able to say rotational angular velocity is 2 pi n. Angular velocity is 2 pi times n. You see the n there is 1 over 240. I think that. So angular velocity, it becomes now up to you to, after that, to find the answer there. To say 2 shift pi bracket 1 over 240. Okay, this becomes 0.02617. Let's round off to 3 decimal places. Shift setup 6, and I want 3 decimal places, which is 0.026. 0.026 r per second. That was that. All right. Next one, peripheral velocity of the wheel. Peripheral velocity is the rotational frequency. This is the one here. I mean the circumferential velocity, sorry. The circumferential velocity V is pi dn. That's what they want, the pi dn. So when you come here, when you write that formula to say V is equal to pi dn, and we already know our n. This is our n. Alright, so V is equal to pi. Now d, there's something interesting with our d. They gave us d as 80 millimeters, but you must convert 80 millimeters to meters. So you can come here and say in advance 80 millimeters is equal to 80 over 1000 meters, which is equal to 0, into 800, 0 into 8008 meters. See, you can use a calculator. Obviously, I didn't want to take a calculator there. So you can come in, say 0.08, and then n is 1 over 240. If you want, you could have written it like this: V is equal to pi, and then you say 8 over, because let me remove this. you say 8 over 1000, and then you say 1 over 240. It's still fine. Any of these is still fine. This one is already the converted version. You can, if you don't want to do that and you use a calculator once, you can say shift pi, then you say that, which is 8 over 1000. That conversion can be done while you're calculating once, and then there again 1 over 240. I hope you guys are paying attention to this. And then after that, see, it's a small number in there. If I say shift setup and then I say fix, which is 6, now let me say 9 decimals so that I say the whole number, which is v is 0,001047 2. Okay, there are 3 zeros and then 1047, which is 3 zeros and 105. So 3 zeros, which is 0, that is v is equal to 0,00014, something like that, and then 1407 or 1. Let me leave it like that. But it's what, for this one, since it's velocity, it's rotations per seconds. Are you with me? Because they were talking about the what? The rotational, what did they say? Peripheral velocity is rotations per second on this one. Alright. So that is that peripheral velocity of the wheel. Next one, 3.3. It says here, calculate the area of a sector if the circumference of the circle is 25 centimeter and the angle of the sector is what? 55 degrees. They made it 5 marks. Now let me sketch this. They're saying calculate the sector of the area of a sector of if the circumference of a circle. So what they're saying is, you have a circle. I just want to show you what they are meaning. I want it a little bit bigger. You have a circle, and then the circumference of a circle, if you go to the formula, because they gave us the circumference. Now what's the circumference of a circle? Volume, okay, volume, surface area, volume of a prism, volume of that. They are not giving us the circumference of a circle, which means unfortunately you need to know that. There is nothing of that. So you need to know what is the circumference of a circle. Okay, C is equal to 2 pi r. That's the formula for the circumference. That's the perimeter of a circle, the distance around the circle. That's called the circumference. So now they are saying calculate the area of a sector if the circumference of a circle is 25. So they are telling us that this circumference C is 25 here. C is equal to 25. 25 what? It's 25 centimeters. Am I right? Centimeters. And then secondly, they are giving us to calculate the area of a sector if the circumference of the circle is 25 centimeters and the angle of the sector is 55 degrees. So now I'm going to take out a sector from this circle. Let's say this was what I want to take out. And they're saying this angle is 55 degrees and I'm interested in this sector. Alright. They've given me that information and they want to calculate the area. So meaning they are interested in calculating the area of that. So with this information given, what I need to do now is first to find what is the radius, the distance from here. What is the radius of the circle? So using C is 2 pi r, so meaning 2 pi r is equal to 25. Divide by 2 pi, divide by 2 pi to remain with r, see? So radius is equal to 25 over 2 pi. 25, you can leave it like that, so that because there is no straight answer, we can leave it like that if you want. If you want, you can find the actual answer here to say what is 25 over 2 pi. Then you can have that to say 3,9788, which is 3,979, which is 3,979 centimeters. You can be using that here, 3,979. That is the radius. Now, there is a formula for the sector of a circle. If you go to these formulas about the sector of a circle, now sector, arc over radius, we have got this now to say area is 1 over 2 pi r squared theta. You see that one? Area is 1 over 2 r squared theta, sorry. So if I come and use it here to say A, use a different one to say A is equal to 1 over 2 r squared theta, then they want the area of that sector is 1 over 2. I know what is r. So where is r squared is bracket 25 over 2 pi squared. If you want, you could have said 3,979 squared. And then theta is, you see, it's 55. Now be careful with theta. Don't say times 55 here or bracket. Or you're tempted to say bracket 55. They'll penalize you. You need it in radians. So you can say bracket, convert it first to radians. So you ask yourself, how do you convert? There is a conversion from radians. See, there it is. 180 degrees is equal to pi radians. You use that formula to say 180 degrees is equal to pi rad. So what about 55 degrees is equal to x rad? So you cross multiply. So 180 times x, 180 degrees times x is equal to 55 pi. Then divide, you want x there, divide by 180, divide by 180. So that's how you convert 55 degrees. So x, I'll show you with the calculator also. So it means you say 55 divided by 180 pi. That's how you convert that. So that is your theta. Now I can even remove here and say this is my theta there. So what is your theta? It's 55 over 180 pi. You can be using a calculator to find these numbers once, but I prefer to actually calculate them in full like this so that I can easily get the calculator out. So it's 1 over 2 and then 25 over 2 shift pi what squared, and then bracket is what 55 over 180, and then shift pi is in front, okay, which is equal to, there you get 7,5985. Shift setup 6 decimal places, 6 and then 3 decimal places, 7,599, 7,599 centimeters squared. That was one way. I think let's look at the other way to see if ever was it possible. Okay, but that was the answer. This one, that was the best one to work on it like that. Let me not take this further because of time. So you get what? 5 marks. That's what you get. Now 3.4, it says a sheet of paper in the shape of a circle sector found to have a radius of 1,3 centimeters and an area of 0,6 square centimeters. If the sector is bent in the shape of a cone, calculate the perpendicular height of the cone. Hint, then they gave you this. Now again, this question was a little bit of high grade question. To me, I think for N2 it was a little bit of higher order question, but anyway, the examiner gave to you guys. If you answered this and got it right, you are good. Your mathematics also is more solid. Look at this. It says a sheet of paper in the shape of a circle sector found to have a radius of 1,3. So here, this is what they are saying. this thing has a radius. That radius is 1,3. It's the same thing here also, the radius, which is what? Which is 1,3 centimeters, and then area, the area of this, everything inside here, everything inside here, if I can choose this is the area of this, everything inside here. So the area of what? The area of 0,6 centimeters squared. If the sector is bent, so from here they came here to make a cone, calculate the perpendicular height of the cone. So this cone, first thing, there is a radius that we need to find. We need to find h, and the perpendicular height they are talking about is this one. To say from here, what is this distance? You see, and that distance is called h. So there are some formulas I want us to bring here so that we can be able, look at this. If I can follow this one, is the volume of a right pyramid, there, the right cone. Now volume is 1/3 pi r squared h. That's what I'm going to use. Volume is 1/3 pi r squared h. So if I come here and write that, V is equal to 1/3 pi r squared h. That's the first one. And then area, surface area, also the formulas for the surface area there, I need them here, is pi r square root of h squared plus r squared plus pi r squared. I wanted to show you that formula. So it's what? It's pi r square root of h squared plus r squared plus what? And then they're saying plus pi r squared, which is equal to, let's check the other formula, which is pi r l plus pi r squared. Are you with me? Let's do that, which is pi r l plus pi r squared. Now what I want to show you on this formula, the most important part is plus pi r squared. This happens when it's closed. That's where they wanted to trick you. But remember, this is open. This is an open cone. There is nothing closing here because you just folded this to that. So which means in this formula, remove that, or on this other end again, this is for a closed part. That's why I say it was a bit of higher order. So you're going to remove these. So the formulas here that are going to work are this side and that. You see how now these formulas apply. So when they're saying a sheet of paper in the shape of a circle sector found to have a radius of that and then area of that. If the sector is bent in the shape of a cone, calculate the perpendicular height of the cone. Now, what is it that we know? The area did not change. So the area that we find, they gave us the surface area. So the area before this 0,6 is the same thing as the area when it is folded. So what we do is we compare the area. We say area of cone here, area of cone, remember it's open, is equal to, I'm going to take, the first one I'm going to take is this one, which is pi r l. Now what is L in this case? Look, L is the slant height here. This 1,3 is this one here. You see, that's why they said use this hint. There, it's 1,3. This is your L, is the slant height. So you can now come here and say, when we know the area, it's 0,6. So you can say 0,6 is equal to pi r, and then the L is 1,3. Are you with me? Divide by pi 1,3 on this side. Even on this side, it's pi 1,3. So that this goes and that goes. You are left with r. R is, you can actually find the final answer. is 0.6 over pi bracket 1,3 equal to, which is 0,1469, which is 0,147. So 0,147 watt. I think the units there was centimeters. So that's the radius. Now when you know the radius, it becomes easier. Since I know the radius, I'm interested in surface area, and they told you from here the formula for the surface area to say surface area is equal to pi r. I'm writing the second formula now, h squared plus r squared. Why? Because I'm interested in that h, the perpendicular height. That is where you get your, when they're saying the perpendicular height, that is your h. Okay, this is the h we're finding. So we still maintain the same thing to say we know what is the surface area. It's 0.6 is equal to pi. We know what is r, 0.147. Remember that. Square root of h squared plus 0.147 squared. Are you with me? Then from there, divide. You see, divide by pi 0.147. 2 on the left, 2 on the right, pi 0.147. Are you with me? So that this goes. Now I will say avoid the calculator at this stage now. So that you've got 0.6, you'll do it once, over pi 0.147. You're more like doing the subject of the formula, is equal to h squared plus 0.147 squared. Remember, this is square root. So what you do, you square both sides now. And then you square both sides. That's how you get rid of the square root, okay? So you continue. 0.6 over pi 0.147, and then here in a way you can put it like this, squared is equal to h squared plus 0.147 squared. Now take it to the other side. It's positive, it will become negative. That's when we say here 0.6 over pi 0.147 squared minus 0.147 squared is equal to h squared. I saying that. I know it was a bit lots of work, but that's what I needed. Now you square root both sides, you square root both sides. So h will be equal to square root of that. That's when you use a calculator now. When I'm saying use a calculator last, say square root of, it's actually square root of, and then bracket, that's when you put a fraction, and then say 0.6 over shift pi bracket 0.147, and then close that bracket, and then play forward, close and square, minus 0.147 squared. Everything under the square root sign. Shows 1.291, 3 decimal places, 1.291, which is 1.291 centimeters. This is the perpendicular height. It was a bit of a, of a demanding question, but you could have done it. It could have been done. So that was that here. Another one could have gone through this method of saying, how about if what can I say? Yeah, but that was that. There are two ways. You can actually find this angle here, angle of the sector, and if you find the angle of that sector there, we're using Alright, but for now, let's leave it like that. Let me not confuse you. I'll select this question and show you different approaches that we could have used in this question. Alright, now let's look at 3.5. 3.5, it says the volume of a closed cylinder is that and the height is that. Calculate the surface area of the cylinder. So cylinder is like this. When you're given a cylinder, you have got that. That's why they mentioned, you see, closed cylinder. So when they're saying it's closed, you need to be very sensitive even to the formulas. They're talking about the volume of a closed cylinder. So you come here, you see, and then there is the volume of a cylinder, pi r squared h, and then surface area is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. So you come here, the volume V is equal to pi r squared h. So what are they saying? The volume of a closed cylinder is this and the height is this. Calculate what? The surface area of the cylinder is closed. So surface area is equal to 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Let's confirm that. There it is, 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Alright, so with this, we are able then to solve this question. They told us what is the volume. We are given V. In here, we are told V is equal to what? Of the cylinder, 50, what? 506 actually. 6 cubic centimeters. And then what else are we told? And the height, h, that is the height, h is equal to what? Is 30 centimeters. So everything is in centimeters, so you can maintain it like that. It's only when units are different that you need to be careful. So look, you are given this information. Now the question is, what do they need? You need to find, see this formula have got r. You need to find the distance, the radius. You can use that formula. V is equal to pi r squared h. But I know the V, you see? So which means pi r squared h is equal to volume, which is 506,6. That is what will help you to find the what? The r. We know the h, so we can continue. Pi r squared h is 30 is equal to 506,6. Are you with me? And then pi r squared and then 30, okay, actually over pi 30 is equal to 506,6. So that's where you cancel, and then what you do on the left, you do on the right. Are you seeing that? So that you've got r squared is equal to, then you'll square root that. So it's square root of 506,6 over pi 30. Are you with me? Then from there we have got r is equal to, I can find the square root of that, which is square root of what? 506,6 over shift pi bracket and is 30. Close the bracket. So it's 2,318. That's the what is 2,318 centimeters. Alright, then from there, what do they say? Surface area says the volume of that. Calculate the surface area of the cylinder. So you come here and say surface area. You've got the formula now to say SA, surface area is equal to 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h, which is equal to 2 pi and then 2,318 squared plus 2 pi 2,318, and then the height is 30. Okay, That's the 30 that H, and then that's the surface area there. Surface area, and with the surface area there, so what are we gonna have? We're going to have 2 pi bracket 2,318 squared, all right, plus 2 pi and 2,318, and then times what? Times 30. Okay, equal to, and then it's 470,693. 470,693. So 470,693 centimeter squared. All right, so that was the way this could have been approached, or the answer to this. So that is 4 marks. And the next question here is 3,6. It says calculate the area of a farm when ordinates are surveyed 500 kilometers apart. The ordinates are found to be this. So calculate the area of the farm when ordinates are surveyed 500 kilometers apart. So this also is, this one was more standard. It's 500 kilometers apart. The ordinates are found to be this. So usually I use the 2 formulas that I'm given, and then I test the answers based on these formulas. Look at this. This is the mid-ordinate rule that I'm using, and I usually use both of them. So let's start with the first one. Area is distance between ordinates sums distance between ordinates, right, times sum of mid-ordinates. So distance between ordinates times sum of mid-ordinates. So you come here to say, you write that area, to say area A is equal to distance between ordinates, and then times sum of mid-ordinates. I'm just writing it in brief. So area is equal to, they told us the distance there is 500 kilometers apart. So obviously that's the distance there. It's 500 times, and then mid-ordinates, what they're saying is, this is what you do, because you need to show the formula. It's 0,25 plus 1,3 over 2. You are adding this. Add the first, divide by 2. So here you are saying plus, and then you are dividing by what? You are dividing by 2. You continue on this one, you add, you divide by 2, so it's divided by 2. You continue add, you divide by 2. You continue add, you divide by 2. You continue, so you are adding one after the other. You divide by 2. Are you with me? So I can actually limit this to use a calculator here. So I'm adding that, dividing by 2, you divide by 2, add that, divide by 2, and then add that, divide by 2. So let's do that. The calculator can actually come handy. I'll show you when the digits in a calculator finish. So the first one is, look at this. You are saying, start with the first one, 0,25 plus 1,3, you divide it by what? By 2. Sum of distance between ordinates times what? Sum of mid-ordinates. So that's the mid-ordinate. The mid is this plus that divided by 2. You continue, plus, what's the next one? 1,3. Again, 1,3 plus 3,1 over 2. Are you seeing that? Plus, from, you always repeat, after 3,1, after 1,3 plus this, which is 1,3 plus 3,1, now is 3,1 plus 3,7 over 2. Continue, plus, now is 3,7 plus 2,9 over 2. You continue plus, it's 2,9 plus 2,7 over 2 plus, you repeat again, it's 2,7. You see, when you see the calculator showing that black part, so let me show you if before that, you see it's not showing anything, but the moment I say plus do that, you start to see showing that it means the numbers it can enter are about to finish. So you need to, I'll show you what to do there. Plus, then 2,7, you repeat there, plus 2,8, 2,8 divided by what? By 2. So because the digits, you see, if I can continue this, the numbers are finished. You can't enter much numbers after this, no matter how you try. So what you do, you end there, 2,7 plus 2,8 over 2. So I'm going to start with 2,8. So you say equal to, then you say plus, you remind yourself where you ended, which is 2,8. You repeat plus 1,6 over 2, continue, plus, and then last one is 1,6 plus 0,3 over 2 equal to, and then what do I have? I've got this number 147 over 8, which is 18,375. 18,375. So what is the area? You multiply that by what? You multiply that by 500. So 18,375 times 500 equal to, and then I've got 9187,5. 9187,5. It's 9187,5 what? Kilometer square area. That was the first one. As I told you, I used two formulas just to confirm. The second one, it says first ordinate plus last ordinate over 2 plus sum of other ordinates times common distance between ordinates. So what they are saying here, you take the first and the last and the sum. So here it's the same thing in different way. So they are saying take the first, let me use a different one now. Take the first and the last, add them, divide by 2, plus you add these together. Alright, so let's try to do that on the side. So let me do this. I want to do it actually here. It will be better here. So I take the first, so area is equal to, I'll take the first, I can actually use a calculator once, look at this, and then after that times distance, which is 500. So let's do that. Let's use a calculator to see if we can get the answer straight away. Say take the first, which is, or let's put a bracket, is better, and I put another bracket just in case. I take the first one 0,25 plus the last one 0,3, and then I divide by 2. Let me close that. First and last plus the other sum 1,3 plus 3,1. I just add this, says plus sum of ordinates, plus 3,7. Just follow the formula, plus 2,9 plus 2,7 plus 2,8 plus 1,6. Right, I've done that, and then close, and then I say times 500. It must give me that answer there, 9187,5. You see that is a way of proving that. It gave me 9187,5. Don't forget it's kilometers squared. That was the 26 marks that you get out of that. So yeah guys, I know but this is how you go about. As I said, I'll be breaking these videos into segments. I'm doing it in one sitting. It's a bit heavy, but I'm going to be breaking it into small segments of 24 minutes so that you can be able to follow up. All right. And then on this question, this is question number 4. Question number 4 here is giving us what? Giving us the graph. Says the graph of y is called this and y is called that, as shown in the graph below.